What is the real cost of a low quality MBA? There are enough number of business schools who charge, anywhere between 6.5 to 25 odd lakhs and are not really worth it. I often tell people that don't settle for a lower university. It's okay if you settle for a job that essentially pays you, slightly lower at the start. The opportunity cost of having lost those 2 years, when you are doing this particular MBA is another 12 lakh rupees. So that's about 24 lakhs that you have invested in this. The employer tag on your resume and the employer brand on your resume is far more effective as compared to the degree or the diploma that you want. A lot of people spend inordinate amount of time thinking about, okay, what car I want to buy, what phone I want to buy, what kind of insurance I should have. If you are slightly more, far thinking, you might even think about, okay, what is the kind of a real estate or house that I want to buy, depending on which city you are in, right? But people do not give as much importance to, how they want their career to shape up. And that can be the single biggest determinant of, how well you do in life. If you're going to go for a program that is not worth it, I actually have a better solution for you rather than doing that. Welcome to today's session. I hope I can make you think in today's session. The idea is probably a lot of you already have been thinking like this. A lot of you may have never thought about it like this. I just hope that today's session is illuminating enough for you to at least rethink how you want to go about building your career. Before I start, just to give you some introduction about who we are. So guys, I've been an entrepreneur for about 10 years now. We run InsideIIM.com, which is India's largest MBA community. Every single year, more than 50% of CAT takers are typically registered with us. They are reading content, watching videos on our YouTube channel, taking some mock tests, or generally just getting a lot of counseling from various people within the community. And the experience that we've had over the years is that there is a certain, segment of schools which will definitely make a positive impact to your life. And then there is a segment of schools which probably gives you returns in the long run, although in the immediate passing out of that B school, you may not feel that great. And then there are schools which are essentially a waste of time and money that you invested, with those schools. Now, what the thing with education is that people end up justifying whatever they've ended up paying money to, right? So, for example, today, if you paid money to a coaching class, you will always try your level best to try and justify to yourself why you joined probably the best coaching class that exists out there. It's possible that it may not be. It's possible that you are not getting enough out of it. But you will obviously always try your best to try and justify, your decision, right? And that is compounded 10 times when you end up joining a business school. And why does that happen? That happens because you have a certain amount of validation that you require from your peers. You want validation from your relatives. You want validation from any social circle that you go to, where people should feel that you're doing something worthwhile. So what I have seen is that majority of the people will always end up defending their university/business school. This is how the entire system is, set up, where at the end of the day, you end up paying a lot of fees to people. You end up not getting a lot in return, but yet you try very, very hard to defend your business school outside, because somewhere you don't want to admit to yourself often that, oh, should I have made a wrong decision, or, actually this is not worth the amount of time and money that I've spent, trying to, be part of this particular business school. And I think the MBA degree has been abused over the years. There are few business schools in India that do a very good job, but a lot of others are essentially just abusing the degree and not really giving people the kind of returns that they deserve, at the end of it. And in order to try and kind of, make my point, further, I just have listed down a few things here on the screen, which I expect um, you all to have a look at. What is the real cost of a low quality MBA? And obviously, we will get into the definition of what is low quality, right? But what is the real cost of a low quality MBA? And I've just taken the average fees of 12 lakhs. I think the number varies from anywhere between 6.5, 7 lakhs to about 25 lakhs. There are enough number of business schools who charge, anywhere between 6.5 to 25 odd lakhs and are not really worth it, right? So assuming that we look at an average fees, that you end up paying to a school like that, you essentially end up paying 12 lakhs, as average fees to that school. The second thing is the opportunity cost. Now, assuming that you are at a 6 lakhs per annum salary, again, I am taking an average based on the batch composition of majority of the business schools out there. Typically, the top business schools in India have about anywhere between 20 to 40% freshers, and more than 50-60% are always people with some kind of experience. Now, typically, majority of them come from good universities, and hence the average packages that they would anyway get, if they were to just start working after their engineering or after their chartered accountancy or any other degree like a BBA, etc., they would essentially be expected to be making at least about 6 lakh rupees per annum, right? So the opportunity cost of having lost those 2 years, when you are doing this particular MBA is another 12 lakh rupees. So that's about 24 lakhs that you have invested in this. One of the things that I tell people at all points of time is that the employer tag on your resume and the employer brand on your resume is far more effective as compared to the degree or the diploma that you want. And I cannot emphasize this point enough. The fact that, people end up having degrees and diplomas, but they do not have the right employer brand on their resume. I have myself counseled thousands of students over the years, and I've told students not to go for a lot of MBA courses because of the fact that they're already working at Microsoft, they're already working at Deloitte, they're already working at Samsung, and the MBA opportunity that they were getting would definitely not even get them back in the kind of companies that they're already working in. Sure, an MBA is looked as a career transition tool where you want to potentially get out of coding, software, and you want to get on the business side, or you want to, essentially become a manager. And there are a lot of organizations where unless you are an MBA, you may not get the opportunity to lead a team. And while I'm aware about that, I think that where you do your MBA degree from is way more important than just having the MBA degree on your resume. And you might be better off not lowering your own brand, right? Like one of the things that I often tell people, very, very high potential people out of desperation often end up choosing a very poor quality business school, which will then brand them for life and then will potentially always peg them, in a category which they don't belong to. They probably belong to a much better category, right? So I think these are some of the things that you need to be careful of, when you are making that decision, whether the MBA is something that you want to actually go for, right? The other disadvantage of going to a B school that is not fit for you, or even a B school that is genuinely just issuing you a degree, is that you lose 2 years of professional growth. And there is a deficit in you as a professional when you are spending 2 years on a random campus somewhere, maybe with very low quality peers around you, whereas you could actually have spent those 2 years working somewhere, getting better at the work that you do. One thing is that you make money, right? That is obviously already covered that in the opportunity cost. But there's also an opportunity cost of professional growth. Doing an MBA for the sake of doing an MBA could be really harmful. And sometimes doing an MBA from a school that is slightly below your own individual standard could be harmful for life. Between the ages of 20 to 28 are probably amongst the most formative years of your life from a career standpoint, and that is the time to absorb as much as you can, learn as much as you can, and work as hard as you can. Around 28 to 30 is the time when most people in India start getting married. The moment they start getting married, they have certain other responsibilities that enter their life. Also, their parents start getting old. So between 30 and 35, you suddenly realize that your parents are getting old and you need to start caring for them as well, right? So then you start looking for a semblance of work-life balance, etc., etc. But whether you want to start a company, whether you want to move ahead in your career and be the best at what you can potentially be, the real age is between 20 to 28, right? And that is the time when you need to be giving your best and doing as much as you can in the most committed way possible. And hence your peer group is important. Who you spend your time with respect to your free time is concerned is important. How you plan your career, what is it that you settle for is important. So I often tell people that don't settle for a lower university. It's okay if you settle for a job that essentially pays you, slightly lower at the start, because you can always work your way up, from there. But you will do an MBA or you will go into a postgraduate university only once in your life. And what is the brand that you want to be on your CV for the rest of your life? That decision is very, very important. And hence, rather than doing it from a place which is not going to offer you a lot, it's better to not do it at all. Because then you will get connected to the employer tag that you have on your resume. Or maybe if you are an entrepreneur and you start something of your own, then you have that particular tag, with you. One of the other last things I want to talk about here is the fact that, mentorship and coaching is extremely important. And a lot of places that you go to, if you cannot find good mentors, you will again struggle in life, because having good coaches, good professors and mentors who are going to support you, who already have some kind of practical experience, who can really give you the real flavor of how the industry works, the real flavor of how jobs are actually done, how jobs are actually got. It can be life-changing. I mean, all my life, I have worked very, very hard to try and get mentors. Even today, I already have mentors and I'm continuously looking for people who I can potentially make, my mentor, who I can convince to invest time, with me. Sometimes even if it is for a fee. See, the quality of your life is directly proportional to the career choices that you make. A lot of people spend inordinate amount of time thinking about, okay, what car I want to buy, what phone I want to buy, what kind of insurance I should have. If you are slightly more, far thinking, you might even think about, okay, what is the kind of a real estate or house that I want to buy, depending on which city you are in, right? But people do not give as much importance to, how they want their career to shape up. And that can be the single biggest determinant of, how well you do in life. Because all other things then, get taken care of. If you are in the right job, doing the right things, doing something that you are happy about, and when you are not, under the burden of a large loan which you cannot potentially repay. What about top colleges which offer more package? Obviously, if there are, I spoke about a low quality MBA. I think if I have to look at the top 15 or 20 business schools in India, they obviously do not qualify. I think probably the top 25, 30 business schools in India offer very good value for money in most cases. And this comment is not about, if you are getting admission in any of the top 20, 25 B schools in India, please go ahead and take it. I would never advise you against that, unless of course you are at a salary which doesn't make sense for you to take some of the big business schools. Charu's question, should I go for MS Economics or MBA abroad with no work experience? Well, Charu, honestly, the real answer to it is that a lot of these are vanity degrees. You might get an MS in economics, but if you don't get a job, then whether you do it here in India or you do it abroad, honestly, essentially, then you buy a luxury product and go for 2 years on a vacation or a holiday, where you feel that you have an illusion of something that you're learning. Of course, if you are getting admission in any of the top universities abroad, then what I said does not hold true. I think its question is, what is the pedigree of the degree that you are getting admission in, and what is the potential placements that people are talking about, right? What is your opinion on switching domains to certification courses? Absolutely, Raghavi, we fully believe in that, endorse it, and which is why we have built something like AltUni. If you go on AltUni, you will realize that a lot of people have done that. So currently in our digital marketing cohort, even if you have checked my LinkedIn, you would have realized that just last week, 18 of our cohort participants got a chance to present to brand managers at Unilever. Majority of them are not from a marketing background, but they've gotten upskilled with us and have gotten shortlisted by Unilever. They are, presenting to the Unilever brand managers, and then they have finally gotten a chance to, apply to Unilever as well. It's one of the few things that we at AltUni offer, and I definitely believe that a good quality certification can help you get there. We have helped plenty of folks get jobs in product management, people who previously were on the periphery of product management. They became part of a product management cohort and then finally ended up getting a job. Our certification course is really worth it. Obviously, now I have a biased answer to that because we run AltUni, and AltUni obviously runs a lot of certifications, although we run certifications in association with employers. And to that extent, I think they are very, very valuable and they are worth it because you get direct industry exposure, you get to interact with people. So by the way, if you guys are looking for any certifications or looking for high quality engagements with top employers in India, please go on altuni.in and you'll probably figure that out. Other than IIMs, which college do you suggest strongly for a high quality MBA is what Pooja is asking. So I think I wouldn't say that all IIMs, by the way, offer a high quality MBA. There are a lot of recently opened IIMs, which I'm not sure, at least I'm not very confident about either the curriculum, the pedagogy, or the placements of those places. I think most peers will be able to give you a good review of a particular business school that they are in. But typically, I would say the top 20, 25 schools in India, I think, are quality MBA schools. Yeah, while switching jobs, do people look for people who have an MBA? See, an MBA is a filtering mechanism. So, of course, if you're getting admission at IIM Bangalore or an IIM Ahmedabad or an IIM Kozhikode or an IIM Indore, I would say, of course, please go ahead and take it. And that will definitely give weightage to your application. The question is, should you do an MBA if you are not getting that kind of an MBA? So I'm not denying the fact that the top MBA is very, very useful. I mean, the whole point of running InsideIIM.com is to, help people understand that it is very, very valuable. There is a common thing that, it doesn't matter what B school you are from or what undergrad school you have. Of course, it matters because it is a filtration mechanism in India, and exceptions don't make a rule. So there are obviously a lot of people, in fact, majority of the entrepreneurs or majority of the people who are successful in the world don't come from the IITs and the IIMs. But that doesn't mean that people who go to the IITs and the IIMs are not successful, right? It's essentially an insurance policy for a lot of people. It ensures that they are, so whether it is, if you look at Shark Tank and you look at the people who are sitting on the Shark Tank stage, you will realize that most of them are from either the IIMs, the IITs, or are chartered accountants, right? If you look at all the unicorns in India and you look at their backgrounds, you will realize that Majority of them are from IITs or IIMs. So whether it's all good to say that, it is not important, but if you get admission, yes. Does it mean that your life ends if you don't get into a top IIM, etc.? Obviously not. Like, there are many other ways to succeed in life, but that doesn't mean that you don't actually get benefits, if you do get into a top business school. My argument today is only against, a top, not going to a top business school. If you're going to go for a program that is not worth it, I actually have a better solution for you rather than doing that. I am going to just talk about something else that I had, and I'll come back to the chat after that. So, having recognized this problem after having spoken to so many of you, and having recognized this problem around, people ending up with very poor quality degrees and deciding to not choose an MBA, we have this unique program called Alt-Uni by InsideIIM Super 30. So you're going to actually, admit 30 candidates specifically in our Alt-Uni Super 30 program, where you can again have a look at the Super 30 program on the Alt-Uni website, where you will end up paying a fraction of the fees that you will end up paying to any top, or a mediocre business school. And the kind of benefits that you get out of it and the kind of learning that you get out of it is incredible, right? So Alt-Uni works with employers like Unilever, Decathlon, Qodec, Apollo Finvest, Tata Click, Zomato. There are a lot of companies that we work with. You can have a look at it on the website. And we essentially admit you need to be selected among the 30 people for this particular program. And we actually guarantee paid remote projects for you guys, where you not only get upskilled. So by the way, you get upskilled in skills which will help you, build a career in digital commerce. So whether it is digital marketing, product management, supply chain and operations, or analytics, and there is also some amount of optional learning that you can do by taking up finance or HR. We actually upskill you over a 1-year period, where you can continue to work in whatever job you have currently at this particular point of time. And we give you guaranteed remote projects for which you will get paid a stipend. And you get to work on a live project with all our marquee employer partners that I spoke to you about. Every quarter, you will learn a new skill. You will get to work on a project. You will get paid for it, right? And you obviously get upskilled by people who are from the industry. You also get a personalized mentorship by a CHRO of a unicorn. So the Chief Human Resources Officer, CHRO's full form is somebody who heads the entire people's practice in any company. That particular person will coach you one-on-one, will give you personalized counseling as to how you should build your career, what are the things that you can do. Obviously, we take care of basic things like your CV and interview preparation, etc. And by the way, we also guarantee 10 interviews, for you to get a salary hike or get your first job after you finish the program, right? Typically, the interviews will start 6 months into the program itself. What you also get as a part of this is a global immersion. So you get to actually travel to Dubai with us. So in fact, our first cohort is going to Dubai on 12th of March next month. You get to go to Dubai as a part of our Alt-Uni International Business Immersion, where you go and meet companies like the Tata Group, Zomato, the Sheraton Group in Dubai. And you get a chance to network with people, learn how business is done in the Middle East, and also potentially apply to some of the companies out there. And you also continue to keep getting upskilled every quarter. So typically the way we've structured the program is that the first quarter is connected to digital marketing. The second quarter is connected to product management. And the quarter after that is on analytics. You can then also choose to continue the last cohort in either supply chain management or finance. Within finance also, we have like absolutely stalwarts from Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, who teach us. If you look at our programs, you will realize that almost all our instructors are from absolutely the top places. And you get 3 employer brands on your resume So you may or may not get a degree, but you definitely get, employer brands on your CV. So this is what we feel is an alternative to doing a poor quality MBA. If you obviously get admission in any of the top business schools in India, you probably don't need this. And this is not for somebody who's going to get an admission in top business schools in India. But while you prepare for maybe CAT again or GMAT again, and you are looking to continue to upskill yourself, then this is a really, really high ROI, cost-effective option for you to explore. Can we do this while working? Yes, obviously, the whole point of All-Tuni Super 30 is that you don't have an opportunity cost. You continue to work and you keep getting your salary while you are getting upskilled, and you also get exposure every single weekend, right? So the whole idea of All-Tuni Super 30 is to is to make it as financially viable as possible for you. Raj's question is, what is the placement package of past students? So Raj, we have had, in the last 9 months, we have placed over 55 people, and the lowest salary offered has been about 8 lakh rupees, and the highest salary offered has been about 65 lakh rupees. We also had people who gotten placed abroad in domains like product management, obviously those kind, and obviously the profile of that person also was like that. So if you are a fresher or just starting out, you cannot expect a 65 lakh salary. But there are people who've done that as well. At Unilever alone, All-Tuni would have sent about 15 people this year, which is essentially equal to any IIM in the country. So yeah, we are very proud of that. And with Super 30, given that we are guaranteeing 10 interviews, if you don't get an offer after you've given 10 interviews, then there is something wrong with us. How much package can we get, Anush? That depends on when you are accepted in the program. They will ask you certain questions about yourself. There are people who are, say, already at 12 lakhs, 15 lakhs, who could potentially get higher salaries. If you are a fresher, then you will probably get your first job, which could potentially be in the range of 5 to 8 lakhs. If you are already working somewhere, then I think our coach will work with you and figure out a career progression for you. So whatever it is, that wherever you are right now in life, you will be better at it. And I can assure you that the payback of that will be less than 6 months. So whatever money you invest with All-Tuni, by the way, first you already start making that money while doing the paid remote projects. And post that, the moment you get the job, you will recover whatever money that you paid to All-Tuni in less than 6 months. That is a guarantee. Probably be much faster. The questions keep coming, but guys, I'll have to really, stop the session. Now we'll do this kind of a session again. Okay, awesome. I think I've covered most of the questions in chat. Thank you so much, Bob, for being part of this. I hope that you found the session useful. We'll do this session again. But I hope you get the larger idea and the context that I was talking about. And if you feel that All-Tuni is the right program for you, please go ahead and sign up for our programs as well. Thank you so much. I will see you all sometime next week, maybe.